What's up, guys? Spenny. The United Kingdom has anti-free speech laws. You could go to jail for saying naughty words. And so we asked Piers Morgan, how the hell are you going to stay out of jail having Nick Fuentes on your show? And Piers wasn't sure. Well, they did have a live stream just minutes ago. We've clipped some of the spicier, very uncensored clips for you. And I think it's fair to say Piers Morgan is absolutely going to jail. He said it's not going to be a hostile ambush, the show, although it kind of was, actually. All he did was just play the clips of Nick Fuentes on his own show for Nick Fuentes and asked if he agreed with the edgelord commentary inside of those clips. And Nick Fuentes said, yes, I agree. And it was actually really funny, quite frankly. This is true that Piers Morgan did not censor anything that Nick Fuentes said. Nick Fuentes hyped the interview with this photo of Piers Morgan, sort of setting the tone. And the major takeaway, I think, for everyone is that it is one of the funniest shows they've ever seen. It was one of the funniest interviews Nick's ever done. Insane how outclassed Piers is. This is the funniest shit I've ever seen. Somebody needs to put Dr. Dre music and glasses at the end. Piers Morgan, when Nick agrees with clips of himself. I didn't plan this far. That really was the majority of the show, frankly, was Nick Fuentes giving his worldview in the form of clips from his show, which have gone viral. Some of them are very, very old. Some of them are recent. And then Piers saying, do you agree with these clips of yourself? And Nick saying, yes, he does. And I can give you a lot of examples of that. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Nick Fuentes reacting to one of his more famous videos.
This is where you talk about Jews, women, and blacks. Let's just take a listen.
They're always coming up with, no, it's not the Jews. No, it's not women. No, it's not blacks. It's actually really complicated. No, it isn't at all. Jews are running society. Women need to shut the up. Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. And we would live in paradise. It's that simple.
Okay. Would you like to clarify what you meant there?
That's all true. That's 100% true. Everything I said in that clip is true.
Including that blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part.
Yeah. Yes.
But all of them?
No, for the most part.
What does the most part mean? What percentage of American blacks would you like to see in prison?
Whatever the percentages of the murderers. I think it's 1 in 20 black men will commit a murder in their lifetime. So maybe let's say that, 5%.
Oh, so you're talking about black people who murder people?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
But you didn't say that.
That's
you just said
problem.
Blacks need to be imprisoned for the most part. You didn't clarify that you were talking about black murderers.
Right. No, you're right. That's a good addition to that. That's a great point.
Do you think it's funny or?
I do. I think it's hilarious. I think it's totally true.
Do you think a black American would find it funny? You think that blacks should be imprisoned for the most part?
Blacks are my biggest fans. I get high fives all the time. They say, Nick Fuentes, I love your show. They agree with me. And you want to know why? Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago.
I mean, I don't really know. What do you think you're going to do there, right? Like, have you ever watched Nick? This is his worldview. Do you think he's going to cry? I mean, you may like it, you may not, but I don't understand what you think you're going to get, like some kind of confession from him. Maybe Piers, I mean, as I study this, here's one about Nick Fuentes reacting to a Tucker Carlson clip. And maybe Piers sort of bought into the whole Nick Fuentes is a very different person in his interviews in corporate media or big time media podcast interviews versus his show, right, on Rumble. Maybe that's what it was. But that doesn't seem to be the case here. Here is Nick Fuentes talking about Tucker Carlson.
Let me ask you about Tucker Carlson, because you had a long sit down with Tucker Carlson in which he was Oddly, I like Tucker. We get on well. I was with him last week in London. But he gave me a harder time than he gives you. And then afterwards, he was more critical. And then you said this about Tucker.
He's a handler. He handles people. That's what he does. He's a f***ing liar and a handler. He goes around telling people, I don't know anything. I don't know. Oh, I know nothing. I don't even have a phone. I am just a clueless tourist. I just travel to all these countries and, you know, I don't trust him. And I don't care, you know, maybe that alienates me from people in the conservative movement. I don't care. I'm not going to be a part of it. I'm not going to be a party to whatever that is. Whatever that CIA bullshit is, I'm not going to be a part of it. So, you know, now that I've heard enough from Tucker and I've heard enough from other people and I've seen enough, this guy's not who he says he is, not an ally. Stay the away from me. You're weird, dude. You're weird.
See, what would have been great is if you'd said that to him when you were sitting opposite him.
Well, when I was sitting opposite him at the dinner and in the interview, he was nothing but nice. He was very nice to me and very cordial, and he didn't call me an anti-Semite, and he didn't even press me on it at all. And I thought he would, and I almost wanted him to. He was nothing but nice, and we had a great time. We had a really great dinner, really great interview, and I felt really good about it. And the next week on my show, I said, he really surprised me. He's great. And then every interview he's done since, all he does is call me an anti-Semite. He goes, well, I hate his anti-Semitism, and, you know, I wonder why people like him. And so I just think that's two-faced. So after that experience, it kind of turned me off. I didn't like that, but he's going to do what he's going to do. He's still a nice guy, but I think he's two-faced.
So there's a lot of that back and forth. Here's a clip of you. What do you think? Here's a clip of you. What do you think? From in a big range of topics. Ultimately, Nick Fuentes distilling his views on mass migration and the Great Replacement theory to Piers Morgan. I don't know how you argue with this, man. Here we go.
Right now, and you can laugh at this, you can scoff at this, our people are being genocided in our country. 50% of the live births in the United Kingdom and in the United States are non-white. In 100 years, my ancestors, your kids who are so empathetic and compassionate, they're going to be a minority. They're going to be a minority in maybe a Muslim country, an Indian country, an Hispanic country. And these Jewish people that are 100 years old talking about my grandparents and the Holocaust, they don't care about that. Actually, they like to see it. At the SPLC, they're literally counting down the days until whites are a minority in America. So forgive me if I don't believe them when they talk about compassion. There's a genocide going on right now. It's not against the Jews.
How many Christians are there?
In Gaza, it's against
How many
whites.
Christians are there in the world? Like me.
1 point some billion.
Yeah,
2 billion.
How many Jews are there?
15 million.
Okay. So with a straight face, you're going to tell me the world is being overrun by the Jewry, by 15 million people, when there are over 1 billion Christians. There is a genocide of Christians like poor old Nick Fuentes going on at the hands of these 15 million Jews. Really?
See, this attitude is why you're losing. When you say
Who am I losing to?
white people,
Who
these
am I losing to?
white people.
Who am I losing to?
You're seeing it. Mass migration. Oh, you're losing to me. We are losing as a civilization of mass migration. And here's the difference. In Israel, they have my politics. In Israel, they want to maintain a Jewish majority. If they had it their way, it would only be Jewish people. They're fighting like hell so that Jewish people can have as much territory, a Jewish state. They can be proudly Jewish in their own land. Whereas in America, we are being besieged by 10 million illegal immigrants in 4 years. And then whites and Christians are going to be the minority. And that's true in Canada, Australia, all the countries in Europe. So you could say there's 2 billion people, but what's the proportionality? What is the percentage of people being born that are white? Where's the arrow pointing? Where are we going to be in 50 years? In 50 years, there might be in Israel. In 50 years, there isn't going to be a white Christendom.
You don't believe people should get married, right?
I think people should get married. I'm a Christian.
But you're basically anti-marriage, really. You've talked about this. You've talked about.
Are we done talking about white genocide?
Well, no, I'm coming to the same part because
some of the other spicier interactions, and again, the full 2-hour video is available on Piers's channel. That scoundrel. He made the chat only for subscriber members of the channel. You can see what. So Piers was raking it in here. Nonetheless, Piers Morgan getting cooked on crime statistics in this exchange.
Here's the difference. Black people are the most victimized by other black people. You think black people want to live in the hood and the ghetto and get shot all the time? That's what happens in the south side of Chicago. You should come here. I'll take you there. We could go to Garfield Park.
My son went to Chicago
Inglewood.
University for a year, actually, several years ago.
Yeah, that's a bubble. That's a bubble. You think you're in Chicago and Hyde Park? You don't know Chicago. Go a little bit west. See what it's like over there. And I'll tell you, black people agree with me because they're tired of it too. And maybe not most of them, but a lot of them agree with what I say about that because they know how it is. That's why the first thing they do when they make a little bit of money is they go and leave to another neighborhood.
Okay, so what was just
around.
remind me again, the percentage of black men who commit murder in America. What was the percentage you gave me?
It's 1 in 20. 1 in 20.
It's 1 in 100.
No, it's 1 in 20.
No. Less than 1 in 100 black US men commit murder. That's the most up-to-date crime statistics in America.
That's not true. I've seen other statistics. They say 1 in 20 will eventually commit a murder.
So your rate means that you're saying that 5 times as many black men commit murder as the official crime statistics say.
Yeah, there's a report, I believe, on X by Data Hazard. I'll have to go and double check that for you. But yes, there's some pretty shocking evidence that says that it's far more alarming than you would think.
Okay, but you would accept that the official crime statistics are 1 in 100? Or you wouldn't accept that statistic?
I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but I've seen other evidence. Like I said, Data Hazard on X, I believe, produced a report about a year ago. It said 1 in 20. But, I mean, whether it's 1 in 20 or 1 in 100, that's a lot of people, Piers. I mean,
sure,
this is
a lot of white
problem.
people commit murder too. Well, they do, don't they?
Okay, but it's about proportionality. I mean, white people are 65% of the population. Blacks are 13%. Mm-hmm. And I think anybody would tell you that more black people proportionally commit violent crime than white people. And people vote with their feet. People would rather pay a much higher property tax.
Most mass shootings.
What's with the interruptions?
I'm sorry.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, you look at in Chicago, in New York, these neighborhoods are so stratified. People would rather pay a high tax rate. They'd rather pay a much higher property value to live in a less diverse, less black neighborhood because they don't want to live around the violence. And I think that when you look at even on the public transit, the subway, the blue line, you know, people don't want to go there because they know who occupies and menaces the public transit. It is these people like Daniel Penny had to deal with. It's people like Irina Zarutska had to deal with. And that's just the uncomfortable reality.
And then Nick Fuentes is asked if he's a Fed. This is something that is often thrown around, including by Elon Musk this last week. Like, Nick Fuentes, are you a Fed? Elon Musk said, yes, he is definitely a Fed because he wasn't prosecuted for January 6th. Here's the reaction.
Elon Musk said on his X platform that you're a Fed, that you're a paid-up hire of the government. Is that true?
No.
100. You've never worked for the government in any capacity.
I've never talked to federal law enforcement. And actually, I've testified to that fact under oath when I was subpoenaed by the Congress. People leave that part out. But I got subpoenaed, I think, in January 2022, I think it was. And I was deposed by the subcommittee, the House Select Subcommittee on January 6th. And they asked me, did you speak with any federal law enforcement? And under oath, I said, no, I've never had contact with them. I've never turned over devices. So no, absolutely not.
There's been footage that's come out again this week. This is you at the January the 6th riots. Let's take a look.
It appears we are taking the Capitol back. Never relent. Break down the barriers and disregard the police. This Capitol belongs to us. The police are evacuating the Capitol. Politicians throw rats, scurry out of the people's house.
So you're heard there shouting down your loud hailer, break down the barriers and disregard the police. The Capitol belongs to us now. What did you mean by that?
think it's pretty self-explanatory. The capital belongs to the people.
Disregard the police. So you don't support law and order.
No, I support law and order, but on that day, the police were brutal. The police killed somebody, Ashley Babbitt. And, you know, they were throwing people off of the rafters. They killed multiple people. So
when disregarding the police is the first step to anarchy, isn't it?
Well, I think the first step to anarchy is when the government rigs the election, which is what happened. That is when the government loses its legitimacy, and its enforcers, consequently, do also.
I think compliments to both sides in that interview. It was absolutely uncensored. That was what was promised. It wasn't exactly a non-ambush interview, but Piers Morgan let the guy speak, and the internet got what it wanted, right? Absolute clip machine. And if you check your timeline, I'm sure that's all you will see for the next couple of days. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as we have often said, more conversations, more commentary, more people talking to each other, more people living out the values of free speech, and more people letting the best ideas win. More debate. That is how you fix things and lower the temperature. Not silencing, deplatforming, and, well, violence, quite frankly. And that's what we've seen. So the alternative, where we are having open and free debates, is much better than that. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe. See ya.